Hello, good evening. You're watching Awaz News. I'm Kubrali. We begin with the top stories shaping Canada today.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford said Canada has to go on the offense when it comes to US President Donald Trump's tariffs. We always seem to be on our back heels. We need to be on the offense, not constantly on the defense with the President Trump. We need to stand up to the bully and we need to hit him tariff to tariff all the way across the board, he said during a media availability in PEI on Tuesday afternoon, where is attending meetings with fellow premiers. In 29 days, the US says it will charge a 50% tariff on a wide range of Canadian goods, including some that are covered under the country's free trade agreement. Officials in the US have cited unfair trade practices, including provincial bans on US booze, as justification for the move. Ford said he would be happy to see the two sides reach a deal in the immediate future, but noted that the new round of tariffs will hit Ontario the hardest. In response to Trump's tariffs, Toronto Mayor Olivia Chow said she is reassembling her economic action team, which includes business and labor leaders who have devised a 10-point plan to combat the impact of the tariffs in Toronto. Chow says the plan involved the city's procurement practices, property tax deferrals for affected businesses, and a push to shop locally. I will call them back together and look at what else we can do, Chow said at an unrelated news conference on Tuesday. Thunderstorms that may be capable of producing strong winds, large hail, and heavy rain could arrive in Toronto later today, Environment Canada warns. A severe thunderstorm watch yellow alert has been issued for the city, and the National Weather Agency says local rainfall amounts of more than 50 millimeters are possible. Thunderstorms are expected throughout the day into early this evening. Wind gusts of between 90 and 110 kilometers per hour are possible. Areas of southern Ontario may see damage to roofs, fences, branches, or soft shelters. Heavy rain can cause flash flooding and significant reductions to visibility. Environment Canada is calling for a high of 27 Celsius on Tuesday, feeling closer to 35 with the humidity. Skies are expected to clear on Tuesday night and temperatures will pull back on Wednesday, Coulter said, with the high struggling to get into the low 20s. Temperatures rebound to seasonable for the end of the work week under sunny skies for Thursday and Friday, he noted. Environment Canada says daytime highs of 26 Celsius and 28 Celsius are expected on Thursday and Friday, respectively. A mix of sun and cloud and a high of 27 Celsius is in the forecast on Saturday, while Sunday will see a similar daytime high with the chance of rain. We will continue to monitor the situation with Northern Ontario forest fires and the prevailing wind direction for future local impacts, Coulter said. Two suspects wanted in connection with a fatal targeted shooting in Niagara Falls are believed to be driving in a different vehicle that was not seen during the incident last week. The shooting happened just before 9 p.m. on July 16 at a home on Thorold Stone Road near Dorchester Road. Niagara Regional Police said two suspects visited the home and shot a man with a handgun. The victim was taken to the hospital, but police said he succumbed to his injuries shortly after. Police identified the victim as 35-year-old Michelle Snowdon. Officials said they are searching for a 23-year-old Maroof Bangi and 30-year-old Josta Grace McNeil, who are both wanted for second-degree murder. It is unclear at this time whether the suspects and victim were known to each other. Niagara police said the suspect had drove away from the scene in a newer white Nissan SUV, possibly similar to a Rogue, but that vehicle has since been recovered. In an update on Sunday, police said the suspects were likely driving a black 2021 Mazda CX-5, but officers later located that vehicle too. Detectives said they believe the duo may alter their appearance to avoid being found, which could include changing their hair and facial hair, makeup, or clothes. On Tuesday, police said they now believe Bangi and McNeil are driving a 2016 Toyota Camry with Ontario license plate DFW X808. Officials said the vehicle has LED highlights and damage on the front and rear doors on the passenger side, as well as a large crack on the front bumper on the driver's side. The sedan was last seen driving along Highway 45 in Hastings, Ontario, which is roughly 36 kilometers east of Peterborough. Police ask anyone who sees the vehicle to immediately call 911 and urge the public not to approach the vehicle. From wine to whey to wigs, the U.S. government announced this week plans to impose new 50% tariffs on a wide range of goods from Canada. The tariffs come into effect August 19 are intended to level the playing field amid Canada's discriminatory treatment and crucial American exports, including cars, alcohol, and dairy, which has burdened U.S. commerce, the White House said. On Monday, the U.S. government released a fact sheet that laid out the Section 338 tariffs, saying they will apply to all covered goods regardless of whether they fall under the Canada-United States-Mexico Agreement. Soon after, Prime Minister Mark Carney released a statement saying the incoming tariffs apply to a significant number of Canadian products amid a trade dispute that has raised costs for families, particularly in the U.S. This is the latest in a series of unilateral U.S. trade actions that began with the U.S. imposing a series of tariffs in direct violation of CUSMA. Carney said these include tariffs on the Canadian outer sector in violation of CUSMA. Canada, as is its right, has merely matched those measures. The White House shared a trio of lists cataloging the affected goods ranging from wine to hockey sticks to cement, saying putting tariffs on such products will make America wealthier and stronger and restore reciprocity to trade. More alcoholic beverages, beer made from malt, rum, vodka, brandy, tequila, and whiskeys, including Irish and Scotch, are also included. That's in addition to milk and cream, whey, molasses, and natural honey. Ice hockey and field hockey articles and equipment other than balls and skates are listed along with plywood, essential oils, perfumes, candles, dog leashes, and wigs. According to White House, energy, potash, and certain other goods such as fish and critical minerals and products such subject to Section 232 tariffs are excluded. The U.S. says it will charge a 50% tariff on an array of Canadian goods, including some that are covered under the country's free trade agreement in 1 month. The White House claims the move is a response to unfair Canadian trade practices that include provincial bans on U.S. booze, which various premiers imposed months ago in response to American tariffs, as well as supply management on dairy and certain tariffs and quotas on cars. Prime Minister Mark Carney says the 50% tariffs violate the Canada-US-Mexico Agreement, CUSMA. Reporters asked him to clarify whether the new 50% tariffs are related to wildfire smoke drifting south of border. Trump said, "We are looking at that separately." Trump said he is looking at separate tariffs to impose on Canada over wildfire smoke. A lot of damage has been done. They are not managing their forests properly, the president said. Last week, Trump threatened to impose additional tariffs on Canada over wildfire smoke coming into the U.S. In a background briefing on Monday, a senior Trump administration official confirmed that the president has asked for options when it comes to wildfire-related tariffs, and options are being shared with him. Asked whether provinces should put U.S. booze back on the shelves in light of Trump's persistent complaints, Carney said that's up to premiers. He added people in provinces with booze bans appeared to support the measures and pointed to their other consumption habits, namely reducing visits to the U.S. and buying Canada. Ontario Premier Doug Ford said Canada has to go on the offense when it comes to U.S. President Donald Trump's tariffs. He added that the province will not be lifting the ban on U.S. booze on LCBO shelves. We have to negotiate through strength, not weakness, and we need to throw everything on the table, Ford said. I want to emphasize one more time, it can't always be Ontario. It has to be a Team Canada approach. We have to be united. Police are searching for at least 3 suspects after 8 businesses and restaurants were broken into over the span of just over 1 week in Durham Region. Durham Regional Police say the break-ins occurred between June 16 and June 24th in Oshawa and Clarington, Ontario. Police say a group of at least 2 to 3 people were involved in each incident, alleging they would break glass doors and windows before stealing a quantity of cash safes, stills, and other products. A red sedan was used as a getaway vehicle in several incidents, police said. In Oshawa, Walsing Vessel at 300 Taunton Road, Bulldog Pub at 600 Grandview Street, Faux Vietnam Restaurant at 299 King Street West, Friendly Greek at 646 King Street East, and Toadstool Pub at 701 Grandview Street North were broken into. In Clarington, police said Joey's World Playground at 330 Lake Road, Tyrone Mill at 62656 Concession Road 7, and Jack and Joe's Pub at 570 Longworth Avenue were targeted. Investigators did not provide suspect descriptions but shared images of the group as well as the suspect vehicle. Wildfires raging in northern Ontario appear to have pushed the province to its worst wildfire season on record. The province's latest numbers suggest fires have burned through more than 7,250 square kilometers of Ontario's forests, surpassing the previous record set in 2021. The preliminary estimate is likely to be revised once officials get a closer look at the devastation, but it stands as a sign of how quickly the season has worsened. The vast majority of that fire has burned in the past 10 days on the back of severe thunderstorms and scorching heat wave around Thunder Bay, where temperatures soared to around 15 degrees above seasonal. Climate change, driven by the burning of fossil fuels, is making wildfire seasons longer and more intense across Canada. Ontario's fast-moving fires have prompted the evacuation of more than a dozen, mostly First Nation communities, and filled skies across the province and beyond with noxious smoke. The largest contributor to Ontario's total is a massive 3,188 square kilometer fire north of Thunder Bay. Recent rain has helped to temper fire activity in northern Ontario, but officials warn the danger remains high. Into August, the forecast suggests much of the northern Ontario could remain hotter and drier than normal, while conditions may not be as intense as what the region just experienced. A complete reprieve is not really in the forecast, Bichard said. The preliminary area burn estimates are compiled by the province's wildfire agency and SHADE, the Canadian Interagency Forest Fires Centre, a non-profit that coordinates firefighting resources across this country. Federal wildfire records, also known as the National Burned Area Composite, date back to 1972 and are derived in part from high-resolution satellite images. Thick smoke is one of the factors that make it hard for officials to develop precise real-time wildfire estimates. Satellite images will eventually help to identify any unburned areas that may have been included in the initial tally.
That's for all tonight. This is Kubrali. You're watching Awaz News. Have a wonderful evening.